The KPMG CEO Outlook provides insights into the mindset of CEOs in Ireland and their peers worldwide. From economic sentiment and geopolitics to technology and the future of work, we take a look at the fears, hopes and dreams of CEOs at home and abroad, starting with the economy. Irish CEO confidence about the three-year prospects for the national economy is up from 76% last year to 87% today. But should CEOs be that optimistic?
It's great to see Irish CEOs being optimistic, but cautiously so. And that word cautious is important because we're obviously looking at a backdrop of fairly unprecedented uncertainty, and particularly geopolitical and economic concerns, both locally and globally. So the level of optimism there is great to see. That doesn't mean that there aren't risks out there, particularly through maybe an ongoing fear as to how long the interest rate cycle is going to continue. We're seeing some positive comments around inflation, hopefully being under control, continuing to reduce, which I think will be a strong stimulus to some of the growth that will come.
Complexity, from geopolitics to technology, is a constant feature of our research. In fact, 57% of Irish CEOs told us that they have already adapted their growth strategies to deal with added complexity. But is this something to be just managed by CEOs, or should it be embraced as an opportunity?
CEOs live in a world of complexity, and that starts with a world of change, and change is constant, but change also creates lots of opportunities as well as challenges, and I think that's the world that any CEO has to live in. Consumers and customers are constantly changing, behaviour is changing, and you're seeing some of the impacts, including on some of the macro challenges in terms of cost of living and the impact that has on consumers, so the CEOs have to think about that. They also have to look at their own business. Resources are a key part of how they operate. The way in which people attract resources, retain resources, what future of work means to CEOs in different businesses is constantly changing, and that creates complexity for business.
Our research shows that AI is embedded in more and more aspects of everyday life. In fact, advancing digitisation has jumped significantly as a priority for Irish CEOs. And over 7 in 10 Irish CEOs told us that AI is a top investment area for their business. But should we look at AI as a market or operational opportunity? And what of the ethical issues?
One of the things that's interesting is actually CEOs in Ireland in particular seeing the opportunities from AI in terms of market opportunities, which is a little bit different than global CEOs who see more of the opportunity in terms of operational effectiveness and improving profitability through it. I do think that point about risks is critical though, and ensuring that the ethical environment in which AI is being operated and regulated is going to be absolutely key, and seeing how AI can be used to enable that success.
Our survey shows that a majority of CEOs everywhere are keen to return to pre-pandemic ways of working, with the office a central part of working life. But should we be looking more closely at the whole employee experience to understand how best to shape the future?
I think it's important to remember future of work is about lots of different things. It's about ensuring employees get the very best experience in work, and that starts with wanting to work for a company that has a very clear purpose. We set out our own purpose in KPMG. Our ambition is grounded in that purpose and comes to life through our values, and I think employees want to see that. They also want to see technology being an enabler of what they do to make their job more interesting, and hybrid also forms a significant part of that. And we've come on a long journey, and that some of it was enforced in recent years. And I think in more recent times, both employers and employees are seeing the real benefits, of which there are many, of being in the office. And I think that's why you're seeing that trend increasing in recent times.
Our survey shows that ESG is still a priority, and that in Ireland in particular, it retains an important factor in attracting and retaining employees. Meanwhile, just over half of Irish CEOs say they have the capability needed to meet new ESG reporting standards. Given the range of issues facing CEOs, is it a surprise that ESG is still a big priority?
ESG continues to be a significant priority for CEOs, which is not surprising, particularly when you see some of the geopolitical developments in recent times, including the tragic events in the Middle East. But what I think is good to see and important to see in that regard is it's remaining at the top of the agenda when there are other big challenges out there, because we've often worried at times in the past when economic or other challenges have arisen, has that caused the ESG matter to fall down the agenda, and that hasn't happened. I think that shows you how real it is, how embedded it is right across all organisations.